So a while back, I was watching a 19 Keys video, and he had a brother named Dr. Kaba. Shout out to both of them, beautiful souls. And Dr. Kaba, he mentioned something. He said, if I take you back 20 generations, you have about 1,048,000. We'll just say a million, right? You have about 1 million people that came before you in those 20 generations. And he brought that up to remind us that we are never alone. And the reason why I bring this up is because our ancestors lie literally right here, watching this video with you, making this video with me. And what I mean by that is while we have been conditioned to view when people die, they're dead. They go to heaven or hell or whatever. The truth is we are eternal beings. We are spiritual beings that have manifested, energetic beings that have manifested into a soul that now operates this physical body. So our ancestors, they're not going to off to some distant place where we can't talk to them or communicate with them, but they're simply transitioning from this physical density into a higher realm of existence, into a higher dimension, and now exist within you. And what I mean by that, to really bring it together, think about it like this. The first ancestor within your lineage, when he was born, they were born, she was born, you existed in them. And what I mean by that is because after they were born, they birthed their kids, then their kids birthed their kids, then their kids birthed their kids, all the way up to your grandma. Then your grandma birthed your mom, and your mom birthed you. And so that entire lineage is walking with you right now. Wisdom, trauma, and all. And so it's when we start to recognize that our ancestors are right here with us and begin to reconnect with them that we can start to tap in with their wisdom. But in that same instance, maybe we had a grandpa who wasn't able to live his dreams, so he carried shame. Maybe we had a grandma who walked around with guilt her whole life. That also comes with it. But it's using this reconnection and using their perspective from the higher realms and their tools and their wisdom that helps us begin to elevate, that helps us begin to heal. So that's the lore that we're going to be diving into in this video. Before we get started, yes, I'm not going to tell you guys to dive into the lore of supporting, because I feel like you guys already did it already. I don't got to say it. But what I do want to say is thank you. Thank you to all the beautiful new souls who subscribe. Thank you for all the love on the most recent video and things like that. Thank you, genuinely. And it's just the beginning, so stay tuned. All right, but so diving into this, and I titled this video, how to awaken your true power by reconnecting with your ancestors, something like that. And why I titled this video is because that's exactly what begins to happen, both on a scientific level and on a spiritual level. They coexist. And so what I mean by this is, like I just stated, we are eternal beings. So when we chose to manifest into this physical, right, we chose to carry with us the grief, the pain, but also the wisdom and the tools that our ancestors carried with them and now passed down to us. We now carry the torch. If you're watching this video, it's a reason for it. And I feel that, honestly, now I'm setting the intention right now that this is going to all my generational breakers. And the truth is, anybody has the ability to be a generational breaker. So we have now been past those trials, those tribulations. But in those trials and tribulations, along with our own karmic cycles and our own karmic destiny and things that need to play out for us to embody our highest evolution, comes with theirs. And so it's when we choose to reconnect with them. And I take the pause right now because I remembered a point that I wanted to mention, which is the reason why I'm making this video. And the reason why I'm making this video is because, like I said, the ancestors, they have a higher perspective. They operate with a higher perspective. And that higher perspective is coming from those different realms. So they can see outside of space and time and not confined like we are in certain aspects, right? And so it's that connection that is important right now, because as we go through these major shifts that I've talked about in my other videos, right? It's important that we have that higher knowing. It's important that we're able to see through these illusions, right? Because that's what's going to help us walk in clarity. That's what's going to help us see where we wish to direct our energy. And that comes from that connection with our ancestors, the higher realms. All right. So that's why I'm making this video. And so how does this begin to awaken our, our higher nature, our true power, and things like that? Now we're going to get into that. So it's understanding that within our lineage, yes, lies the, ancestors that they taught in the school systems, the slaves, and we went through that indoctrination and all of that. But what also lies in our DNA, what lies in our lineage, is the ancestors that knew of the laws of the universe, knew of mentalism, knew of the law of vibration, knew of the connection with the cosmos and self, knew of the cosmic alignments and how they affect our energetics, and use mathematics to build great objects and pyramids that literally act as a channel of energy to bring light and channel light into this universe, into this plane of existence. We have that within our lineage, but due to this indoctrination and all the other things we've mentioned on the channel that have confined our mind, we've been programmed to think that our lineage only exists of that era in which we were in deep suffering. Now that suffering holds a place, same as darkness holds a place, because it's there to help us evolve. But if we are not taught that we also have the tools within us to bring us from that darkness into light, then we stay in that constant state of suffering, that constant state of thinking that all there is this darkness, all there is this physical matter plane of existence. And our ancestors are constantly trying to communicate to us that that is not true at all, that within your very DNA lies the tools and wisdoms that is needed to help us bridge the cosmos, to help us modernize their ways and bring it here into the physical. And what I mean by that is, I highly suggest checking out Billy Carson's vid, where he talks about how our DNA acts as literal flash drives. And they did a study where the DNA dates back all the way to the years that correlate with the beginning of the universe. So this goes back to what I said in the beginning, that you have your first ancestors' DNA, their wisdom, their tools within you. And so it's when we start to activate this that we can begin to start tapping in to that wisdom, into those higher conscious states, into, what you call a download, right? You probably heard people say downloads, like depending on where you at in your journey, you probably hear it every day, or this your first time hearing it. Like, what's a download? I'm not a computer, but you are, bro. We are the OG AI, right? We are quantum spiritual computers, and the downloads come from those higher realms, come from that connection with your ancestors. So by choosing to create that connection with our ancestors, we now start to receive their knowledge. We now start to become the alchemizer of any grief or pain, and walk in fearlessness, walk in courage to speak our truth, to step into our dreams, to do what it is we came down here to do. And that comes with the help of our ancestors. So now I've said connect, help, and guidance and all of that. But now the question becomes, how do we do this? How do we activate that DNA? How do we connect with the higher realms? Well, first, a shameless plug, but also a very serious note, is activating your chakras. And it's why I dropped the chakra course on Elevated Oasis, link down below. Because when you go through your chakras, you are awakening what's called Kundalini energy. And now, on both a chakra level and your DNA level, what has happened is, because we were born into this indoctrinated system, our chakras and our DNA have been influenced by our environment. And the environment has been set up to keep us in that suffering, to keep us in that survival mode. And so all our DNA has known is survival mode. All our chakras may know is that survival mode, keeping us in those lower three chakras. So it's when we choose to go through our chakras and ascend that energy, that Kundalini energy, through the chakras, healing, recognizing our habits, changing our habits, recognizing that we no longer have to let the external influence our internal, but vice versa, where we influence our external by healing our internal. that energy starts to rise and it brings us into higher conscious states. But what's also happening is as that kundalini rise, it's almost like a snake shedding its skin. So what we've been told is junk DNA is really DNA that's waiting to be activated so that you can begin to tap in to your ancestors' wisdom. And when we go through our chakras and we open up the 7 seals, we begin to activate that energy within us, to activate our DNA and begin to receive what you call downloads, right? Because our crown chakra, our pineal gland, it's that antenna, it's that receiver of that cosmic wisdom. And we can ground it through creating altars, creating a bridge. Now, just to end that off right there, definitely use the code down below, elevate, to get you a little discount on the chakra course if you're looking to start that healing arc and activate your DNA. All right. So when we activate it and we're starting to receive those downloads and we're starting to get those, those cosmic experiences, it can get a little uncomfortable. So it's important to be rooted with our ancestors. And that's why it's important to know your ancestors, to connect with your ancestors, so you can have guidance, not only through this time right now, this major transition, but for the rest of your experience. And even when you may not even be feeling a transition, it's always nice to have that guidance to, go somewhere to the higher realms where you can, ask a question and receive that guidance. And so that's why altars and what I like to call a bridge is important. So what an altar is basically a place that you've created here in the physical, like a portal almost, that you go and you commune with your ancestors. You can meditate there. And it can look like a variety of things, from a shelf with pictures of your ancestors, feathers, candles. The thing about an altar is that it's aligned to you and your ancestors' relationship. It's aligned to what your ancestors are telling you to bring there. And that could be a multitude of things. They can tell you I want you to fill up water every day and bring it to me. Like, it can be a multitude of things. But it's really unique to you and your relationship with your ancestors. And it's important that you honor what they say. Excuse me. I'm telling you, I know y'all be seeing in the videos I be doing out. I be eating good. You know what I mean? I may be vegetarian, but I be eating good. Okay. But, the altar is a place where you can go commune with your ancestors so that you can start to, I like to view it as, like I said, a bridge. So you're creating that bridge from that higher realm, from the realm that they've transitioned here into the physical. And so that connection now just becomes seamless, in the sense that they really start to just move through you. They really start to just, embody through you. And it may pop up as intuitive thoughts, like you may be guided somewhere. You may start to take actions that are centered around your ancestral traditions and things like that. And that's how you can really start to see that, your ancestors are with you. They're talking with you, and you can really feel them. But the beginning of it is really creating that connection with them. And so an altar is a beautiful way and a very honorable way to start that connection. And so another way you can do that is simply call on them. Simply set the intention to explore your lineage, to explore your roots. Because like I said, we've been taught a certain way, and we think that's as far as our ancestral lineage goes. But no, it goes way further, and it gets way more cosmic, and it gets way more intelligent than, our mind could honestly possibly comprehend. But we do it anyways, right? Because we cosmic beings. So by setting that intention, and this is how I started, by setting that intention, you literally just get guided. You get guided to, whether it's an instrument, maybe a movie, maybe an experience. And then that experience starts a chain reaction for you to be like, I felt called to this, so let me look up this, right? It's important that you look up what you feel called to. So you go look it up. Then you see it's connected to this tribe. And then you see it's connected to this place in America, or this place in Africa, or in Brazil, or whatever. And then you see, okay, like this tribe, it really resonates with me. I know my mom's from here, my dad's from here. And so then you start to put the pieces together, and then you see, oh, shoot, I'm from this tribe. And then you could start to look at their traditions, and then you could start to look at their music, look at how they cooked food, look at, what were they connected to? What was their realm of exploration, in the sense of, what did they study? Did they study the stars? Did they study numerology? Did they study universal mathematics? Like, when you start to explore your roots, you can really feel this sense of rootedness and groundedness. Like me just saying this, I'm feeling my ancestors right now. Like you can really just feel that rootedness as you explore your roots, and it'll really, like I said, it'll become intuition. Like you won't have to think about it. It'll just be like, yes, I resonate with that. Like, and it'll call you deeper, and it's literally like your ancestors calling you to a fire almost. And it's like, come sit with us. Come sit. Let's ponder a little bit. Come sit with us. And so from there, it just, you have that connection now. And so now your ancestors, you've created that bridge. And once you create an altar, it's really just an external manifestation of that internal altar. So now your ancestors are allowed to move through you. They're allowed to guide you. And so, like I said in the beginning, it is so important right now, bro, because these tricks, man, these poly tricks, all of these things, bro, they're gonna rise, and we have to be willing to have the eyesight to see right through them, so that we can bridge our ancestors' ways into this physical. Because the truth is, we see it, bro, it's crumbling. The old ways, the matrix is crumbling, bro. It's crumbling, but we're gonna have to be here to rebuild it, and the way we rebuild it is with our ancestors' ways. I seen a sign that said, the new ways will be the ways of the old, meaning going back to living off the land, going back to building communities, using modern technology, right? Like modernizing our ancestors' ways, right? Using modern technology to create communities, to create eco-friendly things, to create sustainability, to create a divine connection, building pyramids, building energy centers, building things that harness the divine light of energy and spread it to the collective rather than trying to trap it and confine it. Like these are our ancestors' ways, and this light that's coming in, that's aiding in this transition, that is what's helping us tap back in with this. And it's a multitude of things, but it starts with that action to create that connection. And that's why I made this video, to remind us of the connection that we have within us, that all we need to search is within, and we're gonna find the answers. Our ancestors have the answers to help us heal our lineage, to break the generational curses, so that we can start to operate on our highest embodiment. All right, so with that said, that's my spiel on ancestors. That's my spiel on how to awaken your true power and connect with your ancestors. My name is Mark Anthony. Thank you so much for joining me here on Elevated Talk, and welcome to the Cosmic Show. Peace to all, and much love.